The life of Sushi VR Grayson Rodriguez is genuinely one of the saddest things in the lore. Ever since he was a little boy, he had a passion of touching women's stomachs and sexually assaulted them, and he loved it. Sushi VR would fall into an addiction into it. Sushi VR is definitely evil ever since he was a kid. Xerxes knew of this and started liking Sushi VR because of his evil deeds. Sushi VR's past would eventually lead into creating his own slut business and empire, and he would conduct slut operations across the globe. And Xerxes and Corey did not like this. Xerxes and Corey would do counter operations against Sushi VR in hopes he would eventually stop, but he didn't because his autism would not let him be stopped. I swear maybe autism is a superpower. Xerxes and Corey would eventually create the slut-killing business. Xerxes and Corey formed an alliance around the slut wars. Before and after, they planned to invade Virginia. Sushi VR was expecting an invasion beforehand because Sushi VR's sluts got with one of Xerxes' generals and snitched. That's why. Sushi VR's sluts are really great at manipulating gooners and shit in Xerxes' army. But did you know Xerxes created lust? That's right. Xerxes created lust because of heavy amounts of dopamine and other hormones, and Sushi VR was really happy of his creation, and Sushi VR falls into lust every day. Xerxes, on the other hand, rarely falls into lust. He is normally focused on greed and wrath. Sushi VR focuses on lust, sloth, and gluttony. Sushi VR's dream job is to be a Discord moderator and get e-kittens. Stupid ass simp. The life of Andrea Isic is really interesting because his character kinda started off as nothing. Then all of a sudden he's one of the best supporting characters, and he does a lore and supports Corey really well. A lot of great things in the despite him having an IQ of 98. He was always loyal to the supporting characters in Corey against Xerxes and Sushi VR. Xerxes and Sushi VR are the main antagonists in the lore, and they have terrorized Andrea Isic for almost his entire life. Andrea Isic has hatred towards Sushi VR and Xerxes, but for some reason, Andrea Isic kinda likes Sushi VR's slut army a bit. We don't know why he did that. I think there are theories around that say Andrea Isic is a simp. However, I don't think that's true. But I don't know why he likes Sushi VR's sluts for some reason. Most of Sushi VR's sluts are from the United States. Xerxes finds it weird that Andrea Isic is acting like that. Xerxes was wondering, what the fuck is his thinking? And Corey had enough it. When Sushi VR died from an STD, his sluts had no more purpose, and Andrea Isic begged for them to join his army, but they declined. Andrea Isic was heartbroken. Xerxes was laughing, ha 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 ha. Nathaniel B. hates Xerxes. Nathaniel B. has had a very complex relationship with Xerxes for the past few years because they have been fighting for a few years, but before Nathaniel B's death, Xerxes felt terrible because I think Xerxes genuinely liked Nathaniel B, but only for his respectful comments and had good sport in war times. Nathaniel B. was a true warrior fighting against evil such as 2Oxphase's army and Sushi VR's sluts and having a large kill count. He worked with Bob and Knudsen. His story peaked during the California campaign, but he sadly got killed in the later chapters by that dumbass boy, Sushi VR, Grayson Rodriguez, because Sushi VR's sluts killed him. My guess is that Nathaniel B. fell for lust when looking at Sushi VR's sluts and got lured in and got kidnapped because one of the sluts hit him in the head with a club. Nathaniel B. woke up tied to a chair, and he was tortured by the sluts, and he is unfortunately killed because of a heart attack, probably from intense fear or an orgasm. After Corey and 2Oxphase heard of his death, both Corey and 2Oxphase started targeting sluts more often, but Andrea Isich was disappointed because they kept killing sluts. The slut wars began, with 2Oxphase and Corey invading Virginia but losing the first war and first wave, but they went in another time and they took Virginia from Sushi VR. All for Nathaniel B. God rest Nathaniel B.'s soul. Coxphase was proud of his success. The whole world wants to rape Corey. That's what 2Oxphase wants. 2Oxphase is the main antagonist in the lore. 2Oxphase is the mastermind behind every government in the world. He's one smart of the bitch, I'll tell you that. 2Oxphase is the creator of many things. Corey's sole purpose is to kill and end his doings, but it's gonna be a really difficult progress since Coxphase has technically brainwashed half of the world and leads every government. 2Oxphase hasn't brainwashed any of the supporting characters yet. Sushi VR isn't really brainwashed by 2Oxphase. Sushi VR has some kind of shielding against the brainwashing for some reason. But some of Sushi VR's sluts were brainwashed as well. Corey has made up of his own army, but it's smaller compared to 2Oxphase's massive military and has more strength. But Corey can overcome him with better battle plans and better execution. 2Oxphase's generals weren't always smart, you know. There is a lot of supporting characters across the globe, all of them helping Corey against 2Oxphase, which is really good. Sushi VR's backstory is the most disturbing out of every character. He sexually assaulted some girls when he was a little boy, so he couldn't get arrested. He's one smart son of the bitch, I'll tell you that. I don't know why he did that. The lore is truly a beautiful story about war, hate, love, compassion, brutality, brotherhood, wisdom, sex, autism, and general knowledge of the world. 2Oxphase and Sushi VR are beautifully written antagonists in the lore. Corey is also really good written since in the later chapters he technically transitions from protagonist to the main antagonist after 2Oxphase is killed. But every supporting character has an awful death. Corey has a peaceful death. Sushi VR and 2Oxphase has a brutal death. Knudsen's head gets blown off. Nathaniel B. is brutally killed by an orgasm from Sushi VR's sluts. Andrea Isaac dies from a shockwave from the world-ending asteroid that Corey brings to Earth. Sushi VR dies from an STD too. Oxphase is killed by the whole world by Corey. Corey dies peacefully on the mountain as the world ends. The story has many turning points in the lore. Did you know 2Oxphase created female and male in every creature in the universe? That's right. Segok's Phase is one smart son of a bitch, he'll tell you that. Cox Phase is the true creator of everything. However, he is dumb as shit. Torx Phase is responsible for the world wars. Initiated the first in Serbia, then the second in Poland. Xerxes Phase had connections with everybody, even with Hitler and Stalin. We don't know how he did that. Didox Phase is a smart man, with many connections in the world. He even created Native Americans. Black people, white people, Hispanic people, Middle Eastern, Asians, and many more races. Because he didn't want only one race, because that would make humanity boring. Coax Phase and Sushi VR has kind of had a brotherhood for a few years now, both fighting side by side in every war. Corey and the other supporting allies are trying all their best fighting against them, and it all worked. In the end, when they both died, but Corey's brain corrupted and corroded away because the amount of war and death he has seen throughout his life and made him go fucking insane, so he wanted to kill every human on Earth and restore peace in the world and the galaxy, and he did succeed with the asteroid he has lured in and ended. Humanity and Earth regrew, its trees and new creatures wander the Earth. Sushi VR really wanted to be in a relationship with every girl in the whole wide world because he has an obsession for lust. That stupid little shit needs to learn that women aren't just used for sexual pleasure, but they are a gift to the world just like men. But Sushi VR's mind is just way too messed up, and he doesn't think that way. Suox Phase wanted to control all of humanity and create a spaceship fleet and control the whole galaxy and universe and make everybody work for him. And Tuox Phase is technically the longest living creature because he was created before the big bang of the universe, but he isn't immortal and still can die. Sushi VR is a tragic story of a Mexican that had a tragic history, and it all started when he was a little boy and he had dreams of getting into a sexual relationship with every girl in the world and killing every male on Earth and making him the only male on Earth with billions of girls and ruling the galaxy as the only male with billions and billions of sluts. That's why he's kind of known as the Slut Lord, the King of Sluts, the rapist, slut harborer, slut boy, and Mr. Pennistick. Sidox Phase heard of his plans and he was like, what the fuck is his thinking? And Corey had enough of it. Fast forward around 20 years later, Sushi VR is 22 and the Slut Wars was about to happen. He was about to initiate his ultimate plan. Tox Phase and Corey were preparing. They lost the first wave but won the second. Sushi VR was crying with a gay demeanor in his voice. Thygox Phase and Corey are acclaimed heroes. Sushi VR was branded one of the evilest humans of Earth. He fled to his bunker and went into exile. He needed to come up with another master plan, and that was when he thought about having hundreds and thousands of kids from his slut army. So he did that, and he caught an STD in the progress and died from pneumonia. Knudsen is one of the supporting characters in the lore specifically found in the California campaign and sometimes a minor character in other campaigns. Knudsen before the wars, he was a little boy with a passion of music, with dreams becoming a musician rapper. He went into college to study pornography. until sirens rang out in all of California. It was 2-Oxphase with his Air Force conducting strikes with ballistic missiles and JDAM bombs. Knudsen was furious. The invasion of California has begun. Knudsen contacted his close ally, Corey. Sushi VR has also started sending in FPV drones and UAV drones loaded with AGM missiles. But Sushi VR's dumbass blew up half of his supplies with his own drones because he thought it was an enemy. 2-Oxphase was like, what the fuck is his thinking? And Corey had enough of it. Corey mobilized his troops and started sending paratroopers over to California. Knudsen was the one in charge with special operations. Knudsen's operations helped with the California resistance significantly. Knudsen would help with organizations across the globe against Sushi VR and 2-Oxphase militaries. But in the later chapters, Knudsen fucking gets his head blown off while helping a 5-year-old look for his parents. 2-Oxphase backstory number 1. This is the story of 2-Oxphase's mother. 2-Oxphase's mother didn't give a shit about her son. But it's kinda weird that 2-Oxphase was created before 2-Oxphase's mother was born. My guess is that 2-Oxphase's mother adopted him so 2-Oxphase can have the feeling of having a mom. 2-Oxphase's mother often cried because he saw 2-Oxphase as a dumb little kid. She really didn't talk with 2-Oxphase, which is just such a sad story. And a sad relationship with a mother and a son. In the next coming years, 2-Oxphase would wander around the streets after her eventual passing, homeless and nowhere to go, and the lack of knowledge and experience in the social life, and he doesn't even know a language probably. He's gonna feel fear and loneliness throughout the streets of Vietnam until his death, probably from starvation. He died alone, no family was around, no friends, nobody. On the cold streets of Vietnam, people walked past his body like he was nothing. The sad tale of 2-Oxphase and his mother. Sushi VR is a different story, but that will be in the next video. Sushi VR created gay. Oxphase is one of the best characters in the lore. Here is why. 2-Oxphase is not your average human being. That's what most people say. But he isn't a human. He's a supernatural living being. He just shape-shifted into a human. His lifespan may seem infinite, but he can actually be killed. 2-Oxphase was born before the universe was created. 2-Oxphase over time can get dumber and dumber, but he used to be smart as fuck before. But did you know he always had autism and he helped create humanity? 2-Oxphase is the creator of humanity, and humanity doesn't know this. 2-Oxphase is one smart son of a bitch, I'll tell you that. 2-Oxphase created the LGBTQ. 2-Oxphase helped with the birth of Sushi VR. 2-Oxphase made Sushi VR's parents meet. Sushi VR was proud of 2-Oxphase for creating him. Professionally known as Grayson Rodriguez, whose real name is Sushi VR, is one of the main antagonists in the lore. He is often considered the worst character in the lore. Sushi VR dies halfway into the lore's storyline, and he dies in an embarrassing way too. His death has made him the most weirdest and funniest ways to die in the timeline. Sushi VR wasn't really that good of a villain. All he did was command his sluts to do his dirty work while Sushi VR, the fat fuck, was eating high sodium meals and drinking sugary drinks and barely did any exercise. Even not dying, he still wouldn't have lived past 40 with his diet and habits. Sushi VR was gaining more weight, similar to like how a balloon is being filled with helium on a child's birthday. Sirska's phase was like, what the fuck is his thinking? And Corey had enough of it. If we put Tuok's phase and Sushi VR on a tier list, Tuok's phase would be way higher than Sushi VR. Tuok's phase does way more evil things and looks badass while doing them. Sushi VR thinks of evil things and lets his sluts do the work. Sushi VR is the definition of a lazy-ass kid. Sushi VR is by far one of the most cringiest characters in the lore. Whenever we mention he is really cringy with his voice lines or the way he says things, he gets pissed off. But why is he getting mad at us? He is doing that with his voice on purpose. Sushi VR is also known as the Slut Lord. He controls a large slut army. Sushi VR is a simp for his slut army. Sirska's is like, what the fuck is his thinking? And Corey had enough of it. Sushi VR is known to date girls through the video game called Rec Room, and he would try to control them for their love and money and attention. That's fucked up shit. We don't know why he did that. My guess is that Sushi VR thinks women are tools and doesn't care about their feelings or their life. But it's strange. Sushi VR has a feminine type of voice. It's strange. Coxface noticed that as well. Corey did too. Coxface and Corey has to stop Sushi VR as soon as possible because of Sushi VR's evil plans with the world. Sushi VR's plans with Earth is to be in a relationship with every girl in the world, and he wants to be the only male in Earth and all of humanity. What a gay-ass shit. Sushi VR has the weirdest plan out of every villain in fiction, cinema, and history. I don't know why he did that. Sirska's face was laughing at his plan, so was Corey. TikTok's phase is creator of many things in the world. Humanity is one of them. Suok's phase is just, he's a legend, sometimes a myth. So many stories about some kind of god or supernatural being controlling everything. But nobody expects it's Tuok's phase doing all that work. Humanity has no clue. But Sushi VR was created by Tuok's phase, and that was one of the most dumbest things that Tuok's phase could have done, and now the world must suffer because of Sushi VR's existence. Because Sushi VR has one of the most evilest plans of any human, and Sushi VR's plans with Earth is to be in a relationship with every girl in the world. While Tuok's phase plans are more catastrophic, Tuok's phase's plans is to enslave everybody and brainwash every human and take over the universe. That's fucked up shit. Corey has plans to stop them both, but it requires a lot of time and planning. Corey sends radio frequencies across the globe. Cox phase and Sushi VR caught onto this. They didn't like it. Suok's phase and Sushi VR were really great allies during these times. Sushi VR had so much resources and shit when Segok's phase gave him the resources from the countries he has invaded, but Sushi VR used the resources for sexual pleasure for his sluts. Sadok's face was like, what the fuck is his thinking? And Corey had enough of it. Gawk's phase would have a severe disliking to Sushi VR, while Tice to Ox phase. And Corey's friendship grew for a bit. They knew of Sushi VR's plans. They didn't want a gay-ass, fat, bald-headed motherfucker to be the only male roaming the earth with billions and billions of sluts. That's the way the slut war starts. Ha 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 ha.